this week's episode from My Hero Academia, and yeah, it made things interesting by exploring a little bit more with the Meta Liberation Army, which was mentioned in the previous episode for My Hero Academia, but it wasn't really explained or shown off that the League of Villains were actually going to be working in association with them in some specific way. But in this week's episode, it was officially revealed to the audience that didn't already know beforehand that yes, they are indeed working together, and they have some sort of plan that's going to be happening in 4 months in the show's time. And whatever it is that they're going to do, I just hope that it's something serious, something big, and something that has an impact on the entirety of the world itself, considering that they make it sound like it's such a huge thing, because even certain heroes from certain parts of I think just specifically Japan are actually working alongside with the Meta Liberation Army and the League of Villains. So the fact that there's corruption and even the Hero Society is actually something that is very important, and it's something that they need to get out of the way. And you could argue that this all really started happening after All for One showed up, and All Might stopped being the symbol of peace for people to follow behind, and that's what led to the corruption within the Hero Society to begin. And I think that's really interesting. I think that's a great idea and concept to go forward towards, with how the world has really changed because of just one significant person was out of work and not really doing anything anymore. But I also really liked about this episode as well is they acknowledge the flaws within our characters and the fact that they are very important and they need to get very powerful very quickly. And I think the reason why I liked this so much was because it specifically also focused a lot on Bakugo and the fact that he is a character and that he actually has flaws. Because a character who has flaws, for me, is always going to be seen as being timeless. Because think about it. You have characters like Batman and all the other DC and Marvel superheroes, and then from anime like Naruto and any other like shonen anime protagonists. They all have flaws in their own specific way, but you can always go back to those shows and watch them at any time period, because at any point of any time period that you're watching them in the real world, you're always going to find something that's relatable about those characters, because they have flaws just like people in real life have flaws. And there was a reason why I didn't like Bakugo for such a long time, is because it always felt like he was a character who had no flaws whatsoever, because that's how the show really made him out to be as. It made it out to be someone who didn't really have any, if none, flaws at all, and that was really annoying towards me because he never really felt like a real character. But now he's starting to actually feel like he's trying to improve in ways that he never really thought about before. And I think that's super interesting to explore with his character. And the fact that they're doing that now instead of trying to explore that earlier on is kind of annoying. But the fact that the show is even doing that at all, and that the writers and obviously the author of the manga eventually decided that that's something that he wanted to do for his character, I think that's great, and I think it's something that needs to be explored significantly more from here on out. But I also like how the show acknowledges that even, Todoroki and Midoriya, despite them having improved and grown in specific ways and significant ways, they also have flaws that they need to advance forward with as soon as possible if they're going to be ready to take on this huge fucking mass thing that's going to be happening in just a few months, and they only have such amount of time to prepare for. And that's basically what Hawks was trying to do the entire time that he was working undercover, was to find out what they were doing and find out when it's going to happen. And we have a date when it's going to happen in around 4 months time, but then he has no idea what they're going to be doing specifically. And I just think that this is really interesting so far. I like seeing these characters grow and improve, and I like how the three main characters of the show are acknowledging that they have flaws, and that Endeavor is pointing out that their flaws are something they need to improve upon if they actually want to be heroes. And he acknowledges them as heroes, but they're still obviously in training, and they need to get better. And if they don't get better, it's going to cost people a lot of lives, and that's just the job that they signed up for. But I think that's great. I think it's great for the characters, and I want to see more of that stuff from here on out with the show. and more acknowledging that Bakugo is a flawed character and that he's not perfect. I like the episode specifically because of that reason, because it acknowledges that his life is very flawed and the mindset that he's had for such a long time is not a good one, and that needs to be pushed right into his thick fucking skull, because man was it annoying just to see him be so egotistical and think that he's so much better than everyone. But now seeing him, he himself acknowledge that he is flawed and that he needs to work on certain things, I think that's great for his character, and I want to see more of that. That's something that I've been dying to see for his character, but now it's happening, and I can at least say that that's good. But without further ado, that's really all I have to say about the episode. I think it was great overall. I liked a lot of stuff about this episode, and there's a lot of things that I really want to see more of. But of course, it's slow. It's slowing down from what we had from the previous arc into what we're going to be getting in this next arc. We're going to be getting a couple other stuff with some other characters who are like out doing their own stuff from what it looks like from the next episode. So I just hope that it's fun. I just hope that it's fun and exciting. So anyways, that's pretty much it. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys next one. Have a fantastic day. I'm out. Peace.